Spider-Man Miles Morales is quite possibly one of the best games I've played in a long time. I really enjoyed a majority of the first entry, Spider-Man, on PlayStation 4, but Miles Morales tops it in just about every way possible. This is my review of Spider-Man Miles Morales, played on PlayStation 5. Writing in video games tends to be hit and miss at times, and the way they wrote the characters in Miles Morales is shockingly lifelike to me. Characters in a story acted believable, their voice acting was top notch, and the story was engaging to get through. Anytime there was a twist shown, either to the player or to Miles, the game didn't dwell on it too long before moving on and getting everyone else up to speed. If you know the Spider-Man universe, or at least watch Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, several aspects of the story won't come as a surprise to you, but the way this game handles it is very interesting to see. Even for the characters that I wasn't familiar with, it was nice seeing how they were tied to the universe or even connected with some of the main cast of characters. I did call each of the twists ahead of time, not sure if they were too obvious or I just got good at that over the years. I'm not sure if my love for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse clouds some of my judgment towards this game, but it felt just right to me. From how Miles is still very new to the scene with him acting stumbly with his swinging transitions to his fighting style, he's still constantly learning. He doesn't know how to properly act between his two personas, and is trying his best in every way. The core of the story, at least as spoiler-free as I can make it, is that the Peter Parker Spider-Man is out of the city while he helps Mary Jane overseas. Miles has to fill in his shoes to be the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man until he gets back. Well, of course, some bad stuff starts to happen and it is up to you to figure out what is going on as well as how to stop it. There are two main factions, the Underground and Roxxon. You have to fight both as you figure out why they are against each other. You do find some interesting characters on the way too, and there's plenty of secrets for people familiar with these characters outside of the game. I don't want to go further into the story as that is the best part of the game, and it's something that shouldn't be spoiled for you. There are some entertaining boss battles though, I will mention that at least. The suits that are able to be unlocked are awesome too. Unfortunately, I only recognize the suit from Spider-Verse as I'm unfamiliar with the comic books featuring Miles Morales. Even the suit with the cat was a nice touch. The combat is practically identical to the 2018 Spider-Man, but has some more interesting moves to be used, labeled as Venom attacks. I still am unsure why they're called Venom attacks as they're just electricity attacks. They vary up your moveset quite a bit, as well as having several gadgets to use. Thankfully, there isn't too many gadgets, as when playing the previous game, I just stuck with the same few throughout the entire game, but there's only 4 to use here. You can stuff your way through some of the combat sections, but I always just went all in for the combat since I wasn't the best at being sneaky. The finishers though are kind of awesome to see, even though they can be kind of buggy, at least visually, since you clip through some of the environment at times. I played the first half of this game on Fidelity mode, which is the 4K 30 frames per second mode with ray tracing. Then after a patch was released not too long ago, I switched to their 1440p 60 frames per second mode with ray tracing, and it looks even better playing this smooth. The only downside with this mode is that you notice some popping here and there in the distance, as well as slightly less busy streets, but that is an okay compromise to me to see the game with ray tracing. If you manage to get a PlayStation 5, I highly recommend getting Miles Morales, as it is amazing, from its visuals, sound design, and the combat and the story. It is a can't miss game that needs to be experienced. I give this game 5 out of 5 stars and is a must buy. Thank you for watching, don't forget to subscribe to see more critiques, reviews, and analyses in the future. See you all in the next one.